I stood at the altar at Seaside Chapel in Monterey, California, in my white dress, bouquet trembling in my hands, and looked out at the gathered guests. My husband-to-be Liam squeezed my hand gently. His entire family was there, parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins filling the right side of the chapel. The left side, reserved for my family, had exactly 3 people, my college roommate Bethany, my coworker Miguel, and my elderly neighbor Mrs. Chen who'd insisted on coming. Every single member of my blood family, my parents, my sister Paige, my aunts, uncles, cousins, had chosen to skip my wedding to attend my sister's engagement party happening the same day in Phoenix. And in that moment, standing in front of everyone with the empty seat screaming their absence, I made a decision. I was done trying to earn love from people who'd made it clear I wasn't worth showing up for. But let me back up and explain how we got here. My name is Natalie Morrison. I'm 29 years old, and I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona, in a family where I was always second place to my younger sister Paige. Paige is 2 years younger than me, 27, beautiful, charismatic, and perpetually the center of attention. She has that effortless charm that draws people in, makes them want to do things for her, makes them forgive her when she disappoints them. I, on the other hand, am the responsible one. The boring one. The one who got good grades, worked hard, paid my own way through Arizona State University, and built a solid career as a civil engineer. Nothing glamorous, nothing exciting, just steady and dependable. My parents made it clear from early on who their favorite was. When Paige wanted dance lessons, they paid for years of classes at an expensive studio. When I wanted to join the robotics team, they said it was too expensive and I'd have to fundraise myself. When Paige crashed her car in high school, they bought her a new one. When I got into a minor fender bender in college, they lectured me about responsibility and made me pay for repairs myself. Every major life event became about Paige. My college graduation? Paige had a dance recital the same weekend, so my parents attended hers and missed mine. My first big promotion at work? The family dinner to celebrate was cancelled because Paige had broken up with her boyfriend and needed support. I'd learned to accept it. This was just how our family worked. Paige was the sun, and the rest of us orbited around her. When I met Liam 2 years ago, I didn't tell my family much about him. I'd learned not to get too excited about things because they'd inevitably be overshadowed by whatever Paige was doing. Liam and I met through work. He was a consultant on one of my engineering projects. He was kind, funny, intelligent, and treated me like I mattered. Like I was interesting and worth listening to. We dated for a year before he proposed on a weekend trip to Big Sur. When I told my family I was engaged, Mom's first response was, "That's wonderful, honey. Have you set a date?" And then immediately, "Make sure it doesn't conflict with Paige's schedule. She's been so busy with work." Paige worked as a social media manager for a local boutique. She was indeed busy posting Instagram photos and planning events, but not in any way that should dictate my wedding date. Still, I tried. I asked Paige when would work for her. She said she wasn't sure, she'd need to check. Weeks went by. I finally just picked a date, October 14th, a Saturday, at Seaside Chapel in Monterey where Liam and I had spent our first anniversary. It was a small destination wedding, about 60 guests. Intimate, meaningful, beautiful. I sent save the dates 8 months in advance. Sent formal invitations 4 months out. Both clearly stated, Natalie Morrison and Liam Foster, October 14th, Monterey, California. My parents RSVP'd yes. So did Paige. So did my aunts, uncles, and cousins. Everyone confirmed they'd be there. Then, 6 weeks before my wedding, Paige got engaged. Her boyfriend Trevor, a real estate agent she'd been dating for 10 months, proposed with a huge ring and an elaborate proposal involving her favorite restaurant, rose petals, and a photographer to capture every moment. The family group chat exploded with congratulations. Photos of the ring were shared dozens of times. Plans were immediately made for an engagement party. And then Paige announced the date, October 14th. The same day as my wedding. I texted her privately, "Paige, that's my wedding day. You RSVP'd to my wedding. Can you move the engagement party? Her response, it's the only day that works with the venue we want. We already booked it. Your wedding is in California anyway, most people won't be able to afford to travel. They can celebrate with us here in Phoenix instead. I called my mother. Mom, Paige scheduled her engagement party on my wedding day. Can you talk to her about moving it? Oh, honey, I'm sure it was an honest mistake. And you know how these venue bookings work, once you book, you can't change it. Plus, a destination wedding is a big ask. Most people can't afford the trip. Paige's party will be local and accessible to everyone. I sent save the dates 8 months ago. Formal invitations 4 months ago. Everyone RSVP'd yes. I know, sweetie, but things change. You'll still have a beautiful wedding. And Paige's engagement is so exciting. You understand, right? I understood perfectly. I understood that once again, Paige's wants trumped my needs. I understood that my parents were choosing her over me. Again. So you're not coming to my wedding? I asked, voice flat. Natalie, don't be dramatic. We wish we could be in 2 places at once, but we can't. Paige needs us there. It's her engagement party, that's a big deal. You'll have plenty of support at your wedding with Liam's family. What about me needing you there? I'm your daughter too. And we love you. But you're older, more independent. Paige needs more support. You understand. I hung up. I didn't understand. I would never understand. Over the next week, my entire family changed their RSVPs, aunts, uncles, cousins, every single one chose Paige's engagement party over my wedding. Some sent apologetic texts. Most just quietly switched their plans. The only one who addressed it directly was my cousin Rachel, who I'd been close to growing up. Nat, I'm so sorry. My parents are going to Paige's party and they're making me go too. I tried to argue but they said family obligations come first. I know this is wrong. I'm really sorry. I appreciated her honesty even if it didn't change anything. I told Liam what happened. He was furious. They're all skipping your wedding? Your parents included? Apparently Paige's engagement party is more important. That's insane. I'm so sorry, Nat. It's fine. It's always been this way. I shouldn't have expected anything different. It's not fine. You deserve better than this. He was right. But wanting better and getting better were 2 different things. I didn't cancel the wedding. I didn't change the date to accommodate Paige. I just accepted that my family wouldn't be there and moved forward. Liam's family, to their credit, was wonderful. His mother Diana called me personally, Natalie, I'm heartbroken about what your family is doing. But I want you to know that our family is your family now. We'll fill those seats on your side. We'll make sure you feel celebrated and loved. And they did. Liam's parents, his 2 sisters and their husbands, his brother, his aunts and uncles, his grandmother, they all made the trip to Monterey. They brought friends who knew Liam but had never met me and welcomed me anyway. Bethany flew from Seattle where she'd moved after college. Miguel took time off work. Mrs. Chen, my 78-year-old neighbor who I'd helped with groceries and doctor's appointments for years, insisted on coming and wore the most fabulous purple dress I'd ever seen. So when I stood at that altar and looked out at the guests, yes, my family's side was nearly empty. But it wasn't empty of love. It was filled with people who'd chosen to show up for me. The ceremony was beautiful. Liam's vows made me cry. Mine made him laugh and then tear up. When the officiant pronounced us husband and wife and we kissed, the applause was thunderous. At the reception at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, Liam had surprised me by booking the venue because he knew I loved the ocean. Something interesting started happening. People kept asking about Liam's work. I'd known he was a consultant, knew he worked with tech companies, but I'd never pressed for details. He was private about work and I respected that. But as the evening went on, I overheard snippets of conversations. So you're the Liam Foster? The one who consulted on the Tesla factory optimization? I heard you helped design the logistics system for Amazon's California warehouses. Didn't you sell your AI startup to Google 3 years ago? I pulled Liam aside during a quiet moment. What's everyone talking about? Tesla? Google? He smiled sheepishly. I wanted to tell you. I was going to tell you. I just didn't want it to be a big thing. What thing? I sold my first company when I was 26. Made enough that I technically don't have to work anymore. I consult now because I find it interesting, not because I need the money. I didn't tell you because I wanted you to love me for me, not for what I have. I stared at him. How much is enough? The sale was for $47 million. After taxes and splitting with my co-founder, I cleared about $18 million. Plus investments since then. I'm worth around $30 million now. My jaw dropped. $30 million? Give or take. Is this weird? Is this going to change things? I married you an hour ago. Nothing's changing. I'm just processing. I wanted to tell you before the wedding, but with everything going on with your family, the timing never felt right. And honestly, I loved that you never asked about money. You never cared about that stuff. You just loved me. I do love you. The money is just surprising. Good surprising or bad surprising? Surprising. We'll unpack it later. Right now, we have a reception to enjoy. But as the night went on, I couldn't stop thinking about it. My parents had skipped my wedding because they thought I was the boring, predictable daughter marrying some regular guy. They'd chosen Paige's engagement party, Paige who was marrying a real estate agent who did well but wasn't remarkable, over witnessing me marry someone who was, objectively, extremely successful. Not that Liam's success was why I married him. But the irony was rich. They dismissed my wedding as less important, never knowing what they were missing. The wedding ended perfectly. Liam and I left for our honeymoon in Bora Bora the next morning. We spent 2 weeks in paradise, and I barely thought about my family. I was too busy being happy. When we got back from our honeymoon, I had 43 text messages from various family members. I ignored them for 2 days. Finally, I read them. Most were generic congratulations, probably sent out of guilt. But one from my cousin Rachel stood out. Nat, people are talking. They're saying your husband is some kind of tech millionaire. My mom heard it from someone who knows Liam's family. Your parents are freaking out. They're saying they had no idea. Just wanted to give you a heads up that they're going to try to reach out. You don't owe them anything. I showed Liam. Rachel's right, he said. You don't owe them anything. But how do you want to handle this? I don't know yet. My mother called that evening. I let it go to voicemail. She called again the next day. And the day after that. Finally, I answered. Natalie. Oh, honey, I'm so glad you answered. How was the honeymoon? It was perfect. That's wonderful. Listen, we've been hearing some interesting things about Liam. Is it true he sold a company to Google? There it was. Not, I'm sorry we missed your wedding. Not, we made a terrible mistake. Just immediate interest in Liam's money. Yes, it's true. And he's worth significant money? Why does that matter, Mom? It doesn't matter, we didn't know. You never mentioned it. I didn't know either until the wedding reception. Liam doesn't broadcast his wealth. He's a private person. Well, that's very impressive. Your father and I would love to meet him properly. Maybe we could all have dinner. Make up for missing the wedding? You didn't miss the wedding. You chose not to come. There's a difference. Natalie, please don't be like that. Paige needed us. And I didn't. I didn't need my parents at my wedding. You're older. More independent. We thought you'd understand. I understood perfectly. I understood that Paige will always be more important to you than me. I understood that even my wedding couldn't compete with her engagement party. That's not fair. Do you know what was at my wedding, Mom? The ceremony was at this beautiful chapel overlooking the ocean. The reception was at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. We got married in front of the jellyfish exhibit because Liam knows I love them. His whole family came. His grandmother is 84 and made the trip. My 78-year-old neighbor came. But my own parents couldn't be bothered because Paige had an engagement party. We're sorry we missed it. You're sorry now because you found out Liam has money. Would you be sorry if he didn't? Would you have called to apologize if he was just a regular consultant? Silence. That's what I thought. I need to go, Mom. Wait, please. Your father wants to talk. I hung up. Dad called an hour later. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Natalie, this is your father. We need to discuss this situation. We made a decision based on the information we had at the time. If we'd known more about Liam's background, we might have made different choices. Let's be adults about this and move forward. Call me back. I played it for Liam. He was livid. If they'd known about my background? So they'd only come to your wedding if they thought I was rich enough? That's what it sounds like. That's disgusting. Welcome to my family. Over the next week, more relatives reached out. My Aunt Jennifer wanted to reconnect. My Uncle Bob suggested we all get together for Thanksgiving. My cousin Amanda, who I hadn't spoken to in years, sent a long message about how much she missed me. All of them referenced Liam's success. All of them suddenly wanted to rebuild relationships they'd neglected for years. The worst was Paige. She sent a text, "Hey Nat. Congrats again on the wedding. Trevor and I would love to have you and Liam over for dinner. We're planning our wedding and I'd love to hear about your experience. Plus Trevor has some real estate investment questions for Liam." I stared at that message for a full minute. Not a single apology for scheduling her engagement party on my wedding day. Not a single acknowledgement that she'd been the reason our entire family skipped my wedding. Just an invitation to dinner so her fiancé could get business advice from my wealthy husband. I didn't respond. I blocked her number. I blocked all of them. Parents, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins. Everyone who'd skipped my wedding and was now suddenly interested in me only because they discovered my husband was wealthy. Liam fully supported it. You don't owe them access to your life. They made their choice. They're going to say I'm being dramatic. That I'm holding a grudge. Let them say whatever they want. You know the truth. 2 months after the wedding, I got a letter in the mail. Handwritten, from my mother. Dear Natalie. I've tried calling but you won't answer. I understand you're hurt, and you have every right to be. Your father and I made a terrible mistake by missing your wedding. We were wrong to prioritize Paige's party over your special day. We were wrong to assume you'd be fine without us there. But please understand, we didn't know how important this was. We didn't know who Liam really was. If we'd understood the situation better, we would have made different choices. You're our daughter and we love you. We want to be part of your life. We want to meet Liam properly and welcome him to the family. Please give us a chance to make this right. Love, Mom. I read it 3 times. Then I wrote a response. Mom. You say if you'd understood the situation better, you would have made different choices. What situation? That my husband has money? That's the only thing that changed your mind about the importance of my wedding? The situation you should have understood is this: your daughter was getting married. Your daughter wanted you there. Your daughter needed you there. That should have been enough. The fact that it wasn't tells me everything I need to know about how you value me. You didn't come to my wedding because you genuinely thought Paige's engagement party was more important. Because in your mind, Paige will always be more important. The only thing that changed is you found out you miscalculated. You realized you'd snubbed someone you now want access to. I'm not interested in a relationship that's conditional on my husband's net worth. I'm not interested in being part of a family where I only matter when it's convenient or profitable for you. I hope Paige's wedding is beautiful. I'm sure you'll all be there. I won't be. Not because I'm holding a grudge, but because I've finally learned that I deserve better than people who only show up when they want something. Natalie. I mailed it. Then I blocked my parents' address so I wouldn't receive any more letters. Liam and I built our life together. We bought a beautiful house in Carmel, just south of Monterey. I continued my engineering career. Liam continued consulting. We traveled, adopted 2 rescue dogs, made friends with our neighbors. We hosted Thanksgiving that first year. Liam's family came, of course. Bethany flew in from Seattle. Miguel brought his boyfriend. Mrs. Chen came with her famous apple pie. We filled our home with people who'd chosen to be there, who'd shown up when it mattered. 6 months after the wedding, Rachel, the only family member I hadn't blocked, texted me, "Hey Nat. I need to tell you something. Paige and Trevor broke up. The engagement is off. The family is devastated. Your mom keeps saying if only you'd been there to help plan things, maybe it would have worked out. Just thought you should know they're blaming you somehow. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm getting married next year and I'd love for you to come. No drama, I promise. Just me wanting my favorite cousin there." I smiled. Rachel had always been different. "I'd love to come. Send me the details." A year after my wedding, my mother somehow got my new cell number, probably from Rachel, and called. I was in a good mood, so I answered. "Natalie." "Oh, thank God. I've missed you so much." "What do you want, Mom? Can't a mother just want to talk to her daughter?" Not when that mother chose not to come to her daughter's wedding. "So what do you want?" Silence. "Then, we're having some financial difficulties. Your father's business is struggling. I thought maybe Liam might have some contacts or advice." I hung up. Changed my number. Told Rachel the new one but made her promise not to share it. Liam found me in our kitchen, staring out at the ocean view from our window. "What happened?" "My mom got my number. Wanted Liam's business advice because they're having money problems." "I'm sorry." "Don't be." "I'm not." And I wasn't. I'd spent my whole life trying to earn love from people who only valued what I could do for them. My wedding had been the final test, and they'd failed spectacularly. But I'd passed. I'd built a life without them. And I was thriving. 2 years after our wedding, Liam and I hosted an anniversary party. We invited 60 people, the same number we'd had at our wedding. This time, our house was full. Friends, neighbors, Liam's family, my chosen family. As I looked around at everyone laughing, eating, celebrating with us, I realized something. The empty seats at my wedding weren't a loss. They were a gift. They showed me exactly who my family was, and who they weren't. My parents had chosen Paige's engagement party over my wedding because they thought I was the boring daughter marrying an ordinary man. They'd made a calculation based on perceived importance and value. They'd chosen wrong. But I'd chosen right. I'd chosen to marry someone who valued me for who I was, not what I could do for him. I'd chosen to surround myself with people who showed up. I'd chosen myself. My name is Natalie Foster. I'm 31 years old. My entire family skipped my wedding to attend my sister's engagement party. They didn't discover until afterward that my husband was worth $30 million. They called to apologize, not because they'd missed my wedding, but because they'd miscalculated who they'd snubbed. They wanted back in, wanted access to Liam's wealth, wanted to pretend they'd always supported me. I said no. And I've never regretted it. Because here's what I learned, family isn't about blood. It's about who shows up. It's about who makes the trip even when it's inconvenient. It's about who celebrates your joy without calculating what they'll get out of it. My family chose not to show up. And in doing so, they lost the right to be part of what I built. The empty seats at my wedding weren't a tragedy. They were clarity. And sometimes, clarity is the best gift you can get. Even if it comes wrapped in absence.